A bit stressful reporting on the film, you saying? Or just life in general?
I was going to say more like just this environment here, because there's so much, like all of that.
Don't be
So like
stressed. I think it's a fun film, and we try to, have a great time in making the film. You spoke to Charlie the other day. It was instrumental that we have fun. You spoke to Guy as well. It was inevitable. That was the tone. That was the mood. That was had to, we had to be mindful that we were making a fun film. We were on a fun journey. So therefore, we need to be having fun in the process.
Yeah, I hope it wasn't enforced, the having fun aspect. So, to piggyback on that, do you feel personally, because it's a retelling of, an entire heroic saga story that has been told so many times by so many people, do you feel personally responsible for the outcome? Because it's such a new kind of thing. It's such a Guy Ritchie film. I thought it's going to be more like a Thor maybe, and it was so not like a Thor. So do you feel, responsible and nervous how people are going to accept it?
Of course we are. I mean, we are the instrument of creating this, We all got together and sort of like with our thinking cap and put this together. There's a tremendous responsibility that goes into the fact that a story like King Arthur was told in so many fashion, was told so many times, but what is different about ours? What is interesting about ours? And therefore, Bedivere, my character, forced to dive into a little bit of his backstory to try to define his origin, and certainly how was he so instrumental to Arthur? How does he know Arthur? It's because he was part of the kingdom of Uther Pendragon. He was part of the Pendragon family, helping and advise, and also a knight under that kingdom.
What was more challenging for you working on this film, assuming there was something, the psychological, emotional aspects of it, or just the physicality?
Physicality, as you can see, was quite demanding as well, but it's mostly, I say, thanks to Charlie. He had more to do than most of us, but the emotional roller coaster is the one that has to be watched, and the one that has to be carefully paved because of Guy Ritchie. It was his vision that we had to follow, and certainly he has to, diplomatically guide us along the way,
How was working with Charlie and, Agnes and other cast, if you can speak about that?
Well, listen, this was a guy's journey, We were a bunch of guys going on at war, in a way, We went to war, we had to win the war. Winning the war is to come up with a finished product that people can, would hopefully vibe as fun as we, had in making it.
To what extent can you personally, I guess your personal journey, can you relate to the story of, King Arthur? Why is it funny? Because from nothing comes a king, and I know your, upbringing was not necessarily, the nicest. It's been tough.
Well, yeah, I sort of smiled a little bit because I kind of caught myself because I was going somewhere else with your question, but then I realized what your question meant by the time you finished it, and I realized I did, was homeless as well, and similarly, I was kind of like on the streets of Paris, and then find my way to Hollywood, and with a dream, and eventually that dream started to manifest itself. It's the reason why we're talking now. And so all that was maybe the similarity maybe to King Arthur, but I must say my notion to King Arthur came when in early 80s when I saw the film for the first time in France, when I moved to France. And back then I thought, wow, there's quite a similarity to particularly one of my kings. From Dahomey, there was a king that we had who he was imbued with magical powers like that, and so that felt real to me, So that's the reason why I smiled, because I was thinking that, and then I realized, oh, well, I was homeless too.
Thank you. Such a pleasure.
Thank you. Take care.